Hey everyone, Psycho here again. Now today we are back with the Honda 500 Foreman. We have a couple more things to do to it, and we are going to be changing the fuel sensor that's under here. I'll show you. That's the issue right now. It's not showing how much fuel's in the tank. So we have that part. I think it was 30 bucks or so. So we have that, and we also have a bearing kit for the front. So we got some new seals, and we got bearings and the little snap ring. So we got all that, and I do want to take apart the airbox because I know it's all greasy. I definitely want to clean that out, have a look at the carburetor. I probably won't take the carburetor off, but we'll see. And if it's not too difficult to get the fuel tank off, I would like to set the valves in this as well. But if you watched the last video, the bike wouldn't run, and I don't know why that is, but I came out one day and she just fired up, and I haven't had an issue since. So just to show you, it runs perfect now. So not quite sure what the issue was, but I did seafoam the gas so it wouldn't get any worse. And once we get it all burnt out, then we will put some fresh Supreme into her. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, so we're going to start with the fuel sending unit first. Now, I know it's on top of the tank. I originally thought it was going to be on the side, but Honda was definitely thinking when they decided to put it on the top, because if it was Can-Am it would have been on the side. Now I need to take this clip out, this one, there's a screw in this, that was aftermarket, and we got a couple tabs there, and then this all should just pop right off. So let's see what we can do here. This one, this is the way I do it. I just take two screwdrivers and kind of just twist them together, and then it just pops right out. What's the chances this is a 10 mil? Would you look at that? Everybody's favorite socket size. Now that should come. There we go. Ah, look how dirty that is. Alright, so I got the fenders off. The issue was there's a hidden screw that I didn't know about. On this side it's already been broken off, so it wasn't an issue. Just looking everything over, everything looks okay except that everything's filthy. It should be all cleaned out. But you can see there's the sensor. It's just 3 bolts, and then it just kind of goes under, and it's over here, plugs in. But like I say, I might take the tank off. We may just drain it, get it over with, because it's held in by 2 straps, and then there's 2 bolts right there. And then we can get that out. And I want to take, like I said, the air filter, because this could be all cleaned up. I want to see what it looks like in here, and we'll clean the box out. And not sure what else. But everything on this bike is just coated in mud. Like, you can look at the carburetor. And this is something else I just seen, because I didn't realize that this bike has a radiator, but it does. And if you look, how can I get in there to show you? Okay, that's not gonna work. Anyways, I can't really show it to you all that great, but if you can see it, I'd say about 3/4 of that radiator is muck. Now, I don't know what that's for, because this isn't liquid cooled, at least as far as I know, so I assume it's like an oil cooler. I'm not 100% sure. I ever looked it up, so, but I know the fan's there, and I would assume the radiator should have been in front of the fan, but whatever. This could be cleaned up and whatnot. So anyways, we'll keep taking stuff off until we get where we need to be. Uh-oh. Whew, smell of gas. Now, at least that moves a little bit. Out of the way. It should. There. Oh my God. That was a lot harder than it needed to be. And what happened to this side, as you can see, the little tab that goes in there spun freely so it wouldn't come out. And chewed that all to hell. But we got it out, so I'm happy about that. Alright, so it is a new day. I spent the rest of the day outside cleaning up the airbox and the plastics. I even did a couple of the panels just to get everything washed up. This airbox was pretty filthy. It's not too bad now. It's not perfectly clean, but it's definitely better. I got all the crap out of here too. So it's a lot better than it was. So here's the intake boot, and there's a little bit of dirt in here. Some of that could be the dust since I've taken that off, but it's not too bad, I guess. A little bit of oil that it's been getting from the filter. So I'm gonna clean all this up and then we'll put it back on. Alright, so I got the boot cleaned. Got it all nice and shiny. There was a little bit of dirt. I took a clean rag, and this is what came out of the inside. And then I went over to the carburetor. These was off of the outside the carb. So it wasn't too dirty, but there was a bit of oil. It was definitely there, so it's nice to have this all cleaned up at least. A little peace of mind. And we might as well throw the airbox back in. There. So now that we got the airbox put back in, the headlights in as well, I do have an air filter ordered for it, but that'll go in another time. Next, we're going to move on to this gas tank. So there's 2 straps and 2 bolts as far as I'm aware. So it shouldn't be overly difficult to remove. There. Okay. Doesn't look too bad. What to do with this? Now, this should come right out. Boys, ain't that heavy. So here's the tank. I need to definitely clean it up a little bit. And this is what we're gonna swap out here in a minute. I am gonna drain the fuel. I kind of debate it, and I kind of been going back and forth, but because there's about $15 worth of fuel in it on today's rate. But it does look kind of old. I don't know if you guys will. You can see, I know that's part of the tank too, but I think I'm just going to drain it anyways. It looks just like piss. So I got the tank washed. There was a bit of dirt inside, so I sloshed that around and got it all cleaned out as best I could. I didn't take off this yet, though I might not have to, and I think I know what's wrong with this now. So let's take this off next. Oh boys, no wonder it doesn't work. We're missing 3/4 of the part. Good gasket at least. Yeah, that would be a good reason not to work. And the reason I knew that is because when I shook the gas out, I can hear the pieces in the tank. Now the question is, how am I going to get it out? Alright, so what I'm going to try is, this is a magnet off of a hard drive. If you watch my e-waste video, you know I got lots of that stuff. I'm just going to try to fit that like that and see if I can just snag it. Oh, I got some. Oh, look at that. That worked slick as shit. There's part of what we need. I don't know. It's still missing other pieces, so. Should be. Yeah, there's definitely more. There's definitely more in there. So yeah, the shaking it outside worked. Come right out. So there's this piece, and it sits like this. This is just a gas, I assume, because it's keyed that way. And then this just sits in like that, and that's it. Pretty simple design. It just fell apart. So, and like I say, you can see that's how it's supposed to go. Now I know the cables go this way, so put it like that. So something to that effect, I guess. Always remember the rubbers. Alright, so moving on. We have the heat shield here already off. My son cleaned it. Thanks, Evan. Appreciate that. So get that out of the way. Now we have to line this up for top dead center so we can do the valves. And it's just as simple as the, actually it's easier than the Can-Am, because there's a little window right here. And there's a T in it, and we pulled the plug. You see, no plug, so no compression. And then we just spin it. Now, what I do is I take these covers off. Now, I've already had these off, obviously, because if you could spin them off by hand, that would be good. But you can take these off, so that way you know which top dead center you're at. And as you're spinning, look for your intake. When it goes down, then you know the next T that comes around is the one you need. And so here we are. Now I've already looked at these. This one's not too bad. This is about 7 thousandths, and this one is about 8 to 9. You can hear it has a lot more play in it. So they're not actually that bad. Seeing, I wouldn't say these have been done for at least 5,000 kilometers, maybe more. It didn't look like they were done for a while, and even the O-rings were stuck to the engine itself. So it's been quite a while, and it hasn't lost too much, so kind of impressive. And I'll show you the intake side. So this is 7 thousandths right here, and as I come in, right there, that's pretty tight. So I would, like I say, this is about 7 thousandths right here. I definitely wouldn't be able to get the 8 in. And so we need to tighten it up a tiny bit. And then, like I say, on the other side, this is, I'm gonna find that sweet spot. There it is. It's a bit looser. Like I say, I can get the 8 in here, so we know we got to tighten at least the exhaust side up. So now we're ready to set the valves. 10mm wrench, flathead screwdriver, and I have the 6 thousandths feeler gauge there. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen this nut up. There. So now it's loose. Now all I'm going to do is put this as tight as I can. Okay, so now I can't move the 6000, so that's too tight. Still can't move it. Still can't move it. I went a little too tight there, didn't I? Okay, she's starting to a little bit more. There. Oh. That's got heavy resistance there. So that's not too bad. So now I'm just gonna put this back on and we're gonna hold it in place. And see what that feels like. Now the 6000 has pretty good resistance. Still has a lot of sound, but it doesn't have as much play. It's definitely tighter than it was. So we got the bike back together. I didn't do the time lapse for all these little clips. I just didn't see the point. But everything went back pretty simple. There was only a couple things that I didn't really know, and I just kind of had to look around. Like I say, it's been probably 4 or 5 weeks. The only thing I couldn't get back on was a little bolt for the airbox, and that's because it's stripped out or whatever. So, but there's 2 other bolts in it, so I'm not too concerned. Now, time to put some fuel in and see if it's actually going to run. First, I'm going to put some sea foam in just to give her a little, 1 to stabilize the fuel and 2 to help clean up the carb, whatever. I'm not going to put a ton of gas in this. Now the question is, that's not a ton of fuel, but see if it actually reads off of the... Yep. Now it's definitely not 3 bars. That should definitely not have been 3 bars, but you never know. Now I'm gonna put it on reserve and let that kind of fill up the carburetor, and we'll see. With that fresh gas, and I'm hoping she runs a little bit better, because that stuff that's yellow, well, that's pretty much bonfire fuel. All right. There she goes. So we had the bike out for a little bit now. I've run some gas through it. Seems to be running pretty good. I will say there's a bit of difference with the fresh gas and with the valves being set correctly. It seemed to run better for sure. I'll fire it up. Like I say, it does have like a little, like it farts sometimes. I'm not quite sure what that issue is. I think you heard it just there. It's almost like a misfire. So anyways, it's doing that, which is not a big deal. I mean, it could just need to be, the carburetor need to be adjusted or something. But in the 5 minutes that I've had it out, something happened, and I'll show you. So you can see right now we're in neutral, and put it in first gear. And you can hear it clunking. That's right, we stripped something in the rear end, or going to the rear end. I took this cap off. The ring gear and all that still moves, and the ring gear is okay. So I know at least this part is good. From what I researched, a quick Google search with the forums, is that there's a U-joint right here, and it has like a spine and then another one. I'm guessing we stripped that because it was weird, because I spun it in second gear and I didn't really come after it, and then about 30 feet afterwards it just went clunk, and then you just heard a clunk, 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 and then that was the end of her. So the only way to get it to move was to put it in four-wheel drive, and then I got her back in the garage. But yeah, that's pretty disheartening to have to get about 5 minutes of runtime. I may try to pull this boot back and see if there's anything broken there. But if we have to change the U-joint right there, then we have to take everything out. Like the shock's got to go, the rear end's got to be pulled back. It's quite a bit of work to do it. So, because of that, I'm not going to bother doing the front bearings. It's really no point, because like I say, we got bigger issues. And yeah, pretty disheartening to say the least. Anyways, that does it for today's video. I hope everybody enjoyed. If you did, comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for viewing.